Well, we've all seen it, and that is the fifth from that IRS official, and what's going to happen. So let's talk to someone who's right in the middle of it, all these congressional investigations. Congressman Eric Cantor, Leader. I always refer to him as Leader Cantor, and can I still call you? You never tell me not to call you Leader.
I always tell you to call me Eric.
Okay, but then it looks like we're too cozy, and, you know, as an objective journalist, I've got to maintain my... but, Eric, seriously, we've talked about it, kicked it around this morning. Andrew's dad is a really good lawyer, knows all the stuff. Can ISA call her back to say that you've waived your taking the fifth because you made that statement? People think that wasn't enough of a statement where it's waived.
Look, you know? like Andrew's dad, I'm a lawyer. I wouldn't say I'm a good lawyer, so I can't really opine on that. All I do know, though, is, Joe, that if that were to happen in court and a judge were to make a decision and a finding that she waived her right to claim the fifth, then he could compel her to answer questions, and if not, you know, put her in jail. So obviously we don't have that ability here, and really I think, you know, this is something that really reflects the frustration that is growing about this investigation. Ms. Lerner is an employee of the taxpayers, the people of this country. We need the answers. She should be providing that to the people she works for, and we're going to continue to try and get to the bottom. Looks like now a growing instance of really an egregious abuse of power.
Is there any administration in the world, past or present, in a situation like this, that you can imagine would really just want to get to the bottom of it rather than minimize the damage? I can never imagine anyone freely disgorging all the stuff. It's just the way that the world works, isn't it, Eric? Are you living in a dream world if you think they're going to try to act?
I think what this is, Joe, I mean, look at it. You have elections between political parties, and the one that wins is able to go and promote its policies through governing. But that does not mean that you should take something neutral like the tax laws or the authority to enforce it and then go after and discriminate against political opponents.
What finally happened? Do you think a special prosecutor is something that, would you give it 50-50 now? I mean, even Democrats they sort of said, if we don't do it the other way, the worst case scenario will come, so let's do it the other way. They're sort of saying, if we don't watch out, we're going to get a special prosecutor. Do you feel that?
Well, I think first, you know, I'm really proud of the way that Chairman Issa, Chairman Camp, and others are conducting these hearings, because they're being very methodical and serious about trying to get to the bottom of what's going on. And obviously there needs to be some finding of criminal wrongdoing in order to call for a prosecutor, and that may come, but you know, right now we're trying to be very methodical about getting to the facts here, because if you look at it, and each day there's more evidence that comes out, there has been an abuse of power going on at the IRS, and frankly there's news in other areas of this government where the Obama administration seems to have lost focus of its obligation in governing, and instead he'll want to keep the focus on trying to restore the faith in the government as well as restore the confidence in our economy.
Eric, there are two issues here, and I want to try to differentiate them and get your view. Obviously, we're all, I think, quite offended by what happened at the IRS, but there's the secondary issue of what we were told and when we were told about it by the administration and by other officials in Washington who knew about it. Clearly, the underlying problem is a real problem. The question about what we knew and when they knew it and when they told us, how much of that is an issue in your mind right now, given that we now have learned that members of the administration did know about the investigation, or at least knew it was happening as early as the summer 2012, but then also people like Darrell Issa knew, and what their responsibilities should have been then to tell the public about it?
Well, I can speak to my frustration about the administration's action or lack of action. If you've got an ongoing IG investigation or audit, and there comes to you information about this type of behavior where you are discriminating against political opponents, I do not accept the fact that the White House says, well, we couldn't interfere with that audit. or that investigation. That's not true. If they knew that kind of activity was going on, that is clearly a point at which they should have gone in and said, don't do that anymore, and that would not have interfered with the continuance of that investigation by the Inspector General. So we're trying to get to the bottom of this to find out who knew what when, but clearly these actions that have come out on the part of the IRS and its employees are unacceptable.
Leader Cantor, Bob Nardelli here. A couple of quick questions. What does this do to the agenda for the balance of the year? The IRS was supposed to hire 18,000 people to administer the Affordable Care Act. They had an agenda on tax reform. Everything just get taken off the table and get consumed with this issue?
Well, I'm hoping that we can maintain our focus, again, on restoring the trust in our government and the faith in our economy. And it's up to this president to come forward and work with us to create the conditions for economic growth. We have long said that this tax code is entirely too complicated. We need to go about tax reform, simplifying this code, bringing down the rates so we can create growth in this economy. You know, we're staying focused in the House on things like energy this week. We just passed a bill yesterday on the Keystone Pipeline, and we're having a bill today to try and make a college education more affordable.
We got hard break coming up there. I want to talk to you about Tim Cook and all that, but we'll try and have you back and do that again. Hopefully you'll come back soon. Thanks.
Okay, thanks,
Leader Cantor. Thanks. Coming up, breaking employment data that could move the market.